All right, hold on. Take two. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Hope you enjoyed this fine Thursday. This is Chris Hobbs with In the Beams. Have an amazing special guest named Jeff Zuccarell. You might have heard of him, maybe. Yeah, maybe. I would say most of them has. But I've seen this guy around in a few different states. So racing, and he always is putting in a lot of work, and obviously his program is working uh, all the way around, full circle. So just thanks, Mr. Jeff, for coming on. Appreciate that. And we're here to talk about some Get Stuck and what brought you into the RC.
Right. So I used to race before and everything. Come from on and off different race background when I was little, off-road, dirt oval, nitro on-road, 12 scale, things like that. And then had a pretty good run of nitro on-road when I stopped in 2015. And I pretty much had considered that that was going to be the end of RC and I'd move on to something else.
Right.
So I had a choice between doing I thought they were pretty cool, the monster trucks or NPRC drag racing. I don't know what it was, but Aaron Merman, he was like, "Oh, you should come out and check out this drag racing thing." So I went out there one cold, windy day. They were at a different spot.
Yeah.
And I'm like, man, I could get into this. And somebody's like, yeah, you get a small pot of money sometimes at the end if you're fortunate enough to win. And I was like, well, I'll give it a shot. I'll do it occasionally, order one car, maybe do it like once a month. And then, yeah, I had never planned on making prep or doing floating body mounts or things like that. I ordered one car and I was like, you know what? Those nitro on-road mounts, I bet you those would be pretty sweet.
Right.
This body is huge. I'm sure I could fit it in there. I have like 2 months before we race, so I started tinkering and fabbing that up. So I consider part of that the initial part of Get Stuck to getting started, but
Yeah.
Clearly it's changed or revolutionized what I think is an NPRC car design. I mean, maybe it would have been a chance if I didn't do this racing, those would never show up over here. So maybe.
And in all honesty, I believe I seen like your video and stuff explaining them. This was like, I don't know, King of the Smokies time last year, right?
Yeah.
Probably, I don't know. I didn't walk the pits and look thoroughly, but yours was one of the few I did see, if probably the only one there at that time.
Oh, there would be, nothing there prior to that.
Right.
The cars were kind of developed in February on just this workbench here. Just kind of theorizing how they might work. And the first time out, I kind of noticed that they worked a lot different than everyone else's car. I know there were some people from Michigan that came down and thought, boy, that's very interesting.
Right.
I know my first time up to Pontiac, I was so excited to show Frank, like, hey, check this out. Like, and I think he thought that was pretty interesting.
Yeah.
So yeah, and then had pretty good success at the Kentucky race and then Smokies. We had an early on rule where we couldn't use sticky prep at our local club. So kind of tinkered with mixing a conditioner that made the rubber real grippy, but never planned to do anything more than just kind of use it locally or give it to locally sell or give it to some club members.
Right.
And it had like its kind of inappropriate name that I've relabeled, but it still has the same letters.
Politically correct, yes.
So yeah, that's how the WAP stuff kind of came around. I would say that was like WAP 1.0. We're probably on like version 3 or 4 right now.
Yeah.
I
wouldn't expect I wouldn't expect anything else from you. I mean, heck yeah, I would imagine like 10 versions by the time it's all said and done.
Right. And you just have to tinker with stuff sometimes to figure things out. But so I used it a couple times, had club members try it, and they're like, that's pretty good. And I kind of went away from it as we were able to use sticky prep at our club. Used a couple different brands. I think primarily at the time, reaction time was the go-to, and we were all using that.
Yeah.
There was a moment, how I started making prep, or why I started making it, where
Heck yeah.
some of the prep you couldn't. There was a risk of not getting it or just having a delay, and I thought, I have a race coming up, or I really enjoy the racing. I should probably figure out how to at least make my own. And that's really all the farther I thought it would go. And the first time I made some, I've mentioned to you maybe a couple times, or even some club members, they saw it. It wasn't very good at all. It was like more slippery than it was ever going to be sticky. It probably took me another month to make something that was like good and usable, that could be a replacement if you couldn't get somebody else's stuff. And I just read and read and read. Kind of, you have to read up on all kinds of things that might be sticky or not sticky, and what will join together and what won't.
Right.
Sometime after our fall race, it started to get better. I took some to Kentucky. I thought, hey, I'll take like 40 bottles to Kentucky. This will be pretty cool. If I sell a couple, that'd be great. Well, before I could even get like everything set up and out on the table, they were gone. I was like, that was neat.
Sweet.
And Nathan Nally at the time had been using some kind of as like, I needed to pick certain people that I could get good feedback from. And
right, of course,
we had other good communication about racing and tuning. And so Nathan had been trying some in Tennessee, and he was like, it's good enough to race on. And like, it's, I'm working on getting better on it. So that's transpired into that fall Kentucky race that we had.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I didn't quit there. Right. I kept reading about different things and doing different types of tests that you can do to see how like it's working on a tire.
Right.
And
so
sorry.
Do you have to have the MSDS sheets there in the garage next to the containers, or what? No.
I'm sure all of the components come with that.
Yeah. Okay. I was just wondering. No.
Yeah. I mean, I think we're all kind of around different versions of similar stuff, right? But yeah, so you just read on what works and what doesn't. You can find videos online, and some of the stuff they make is pretty interesting. Might work for big cars. I don't think it works well for little cars, the way we're doing things. So yeah, like there was a moment as we were getting into like winter and November, where Brett, the BC race car wing guy, he I sent him some, and he's like, dude, I don't know what's in this or what you just made, but it is colder than crap outside, and I just ran a new best. And I thought, well, that's interesting. It's cold and people are going faster and faster on this prep. But it really didn't have like a following. Yeah, I'm getting all these local Ohio people and some other people in cooler regions, and they're like, we thought we were at a limit, and we used this prep, and it's 40 degrees outside, and we're setting new bests. And I'm like, okay, I think I have something.
Right.
And yeah, if you have some other questions, you can ask, and then I'll get into where maybe I think it really took off, and there's probably a single moment, and I do thank that person and those guys a lot.
That's awesome. I mean, I know you're big with the 419 group, man. Obviously Anthony, Erica, Chris, Jen, and numerous other people up there, right?
Yep.
But they are some really cool people. Every time I see them out, right, whether it be out of state at one of their races or whatnot, as you guys came down to the 937 race, which thanks a lot for coming down there, and you put on a clinic, and that's what happens. Right?
It's good racing, right? It's not a free pass.
Right.
He had a very good run, and I was like, okay, I'll have to make some changes and go back.
Yeah, he's the fast guy, definitely. I know he visits you guys up there a lot, or you know, hopefully he still does. But I know there last year I'd seen that he was traveling somewhere every weekend, and a lot of times it was up to you guys.
Right.
But, so obviously the group has taken this fairly well. Like the Get Stuck.
Yeah.
I mean, percentage wise, I couldn't imagine. It's probably good figures right there. It's on board with you there.
Right. I think each company approaches it differently, or each person that's selling prep approaches it differently. And that's great for whatever method they want to use, or kind of wish I had a website, but there's times I'm at my limit of what I can do.
Right.
I do work like full-time stuff during the day, and have 2 kids, and
still work, and
we try to do stuff, and I try to give people like reasonable ship times and things like that. It's challenging sometimes and everybody that's going to listen to this, hopefully you can kind of learn my pattern a little bit. If you order Friday, Saturday, Sunday, there's a good chance that's going to ship Monday. So that's 3 days in 1 day of shipping.
Right.
Tuesday probably will ship, the next day. Wednesday, depending on how busy Tuesday is, I could fall behind. And then Thursday into Friday. And another thing that goes with that is like the post office doesn't care if I take it to them on Thursday or Saturday.
Right.
They kind of seem to just ship it on their own pace, and you're still going to get it like Monday or Tuesday. Like, it's really strange, but I wouldn't know that unless I was shipping stuff regularly.
I mean, I'm just a little bit south of you. I think 2.5 hours, and I got ordered some from you, I believe, on a Monday evening or whatnot, and I had it by Wednesday afternoon, and I was completely surprised that it went that fast. That's probably a rarity. I understand, and people, I hope you guys do understand that when you have to depend on, do you guys just think that how many packages they have to handle day and so they have a tough job, and maybe
right. So yeah, the shipping thing is one, and the farther you are from me, I mean, Ohio's conveniently located kind of in a particular spot, but West Coast guys, I mean, the post office right now, if you ship on Monday, they might get it Thursday or Friday. So it takes Hawaii, though. Sometimes the Hawaii guys, you ship on Monday, they get it like Wednesday or Thursday. It's strange.
What? Oh, that is the thing. Well, you know what? It's probably handled by a lot less hands, and it just goes right into a bin, and they put it on a plane, and so you take the human error out of it, it probably speeds up the efficiency.
Right. I was thinking about it. In terms of people to kind of think a bit, like I said, shoot, I just forgot his name. Nathan Nally. Sorry, Nathan Nally, and initially there. We had a guy in Canada, Ian LaFirst. He had sent me some stuff. He's like, "Hey, I want to try your stuff." And he's like, "It's pretty cold there." I'm like, "Well," he's like, "as warm as it gets right now is like 30 degrees." Next thing I know, he sends me a video. It's like -7 degrees. And he's like, "Dude, I ran a new best. It's -7 outside." I'm like, "That is absolutely insane. Hopefully this stuff."
That is. Hey, them Canadians, you gotta love them. I mean, they are a blast. I know.
I hooked up with JFab early December, and originally that was just starting. Hey, let's work on making your car a little better. And he's like, "Oh, I'll try some prep." And so he got some prep, and I don't always have the time, but I do try to help as much as I can. You kind of get a little like chassis and other support with me. It's hard not to give it, right? I can't give you everything, but I'll try to help when I can. And if I miss you, just ask me again. I mean, I get a lot of messages. Sometimes Messenger isn't the most friendly app.
Right.
I think some people had seen JFab's progression, because I want to say it was the end of January. That's the best time frame I can get. And I don't know where they were at in terms of things, but there was the R1 race team in Dibs. He's like, hey, we just want to try some stuff to keep our options open. Can you send a package to me and a couple other guys, and we'll see if it gets going. I send it to him, and I'm like, oh, that'd be kind of cool. Like, the people that are behind that program at the time, I'm like, they're fast guys. Like, this would be the first set of fast guys that I'll get to see on it, because none of us here can race. Right? It's all nice weather in January.
Right, of course.
And I was like, maybe a week later, they're like, we're going to need some more of that just to have our, again, it was just to keep their options open. They already knew what they were running on and were good at it.
Right.
And I think that's when Jay Joseph even had some in Hawaii. And he's like, no, it's good, bro. Like, it's good. And I'm like, okay, this is cool. Like,
yeah.
And you never know where they're going to go race, but they ended up at that Irwindale race. And I think they, among other things at the time, they pretty much dominated it. And I was like, it's always their hard work, but I'm like, I'm sure hoping that traction played a role on that road. And from some input I had from other people that weren't with them, they were like, dude, those cars were just, not only were they fast and hooked up, they were fast, they were just hooked up all the time. I'm like, they're like, no, the prep helped, helped seal the deal on our hard work. So that was the first kind of step in like the outside of Ohio, taking notice. Yep. So that I do owe them props, and I do thank them a lot for that. That did, help get going. And then
of course
they went off to Vegas, and they did it again. But one thing that's interesting, and you'll know from Ohio, we raced in September of last year.
Yep.
Same road, same everything. And at that time, with the whatever prep we had, and everybody's come out with new stuff since then, but whatever prep we had then, fastest times of the day were 195, 19. I think 197 was down to the third decimal place between me and Frank, right?
Yeah.
So,
and you know what? In all honesty, I was there at that race, and man, I got to watch a lot of great racing that day, and that was another thing seeing that just ended up getting me more and more pulled into this RC stuff.
Right. It's exciting to witness fun races like that. So we know what that road was like, and we know what the prep was like at that time. Well, you fast forward, we have these other races and people testing stuff. We come back to Maumee, Ohio for just a little warm-up race.
Right. Warm-up race.
Like, what has happened? Well, a lot of things happened, but another thing that changed was prep over the winter. So really like drove a lot of evolution, I think. So yeah, that's kind of like the backstory from there to my prep development just comes from reading. I had a couple questions early on to some other Facebook friends that kind of pointed me in the right direction.
That's awesome.
And then, just trial and error, a lot of trial and error, trying to get the prep to do a certain thing. Some people know kind of what it does, and other people don't. And I've heard them mention it, and I don't even know if they know that that's what I think makes it good. But,
right.
It's interesting. It's interesting. No.
Coming from just a regular guy, I mean, we've got a lot of people on here. What's up? Sean South, he's anything new in the works.
I have tried to make new stuff. I've made new stuff. I've tested it. I've blended things different, tried to see if I could make it better. One thing I've tried not to do is just come out with something new to have people have something to buy.
Right. There's no, what you going to color it a different color? It's the
same.
I
just didn't want, like, I don't want to say, hey, I have this new thing, and you're like, hey, just send me 4 bottles of that, and you already have 4 bottles of my stuff now. Like, I don't think that that's a great plan.
Right.
So, but JFab's tested stuff. Nathan Nally's tested stuff. There's been a couple other just random people that I've liked to test with, and they're like, maybe in this one real weird situation, it might be better, but it's not better where like people should be buying it. So
Yeah.
I've just kept it simple, one and done kind of thing so far. And if I came up with another magical thing that worked better, it would probably just replace it. Like it would just be like, nope, this is the thing that's better for everyone. So
yeah, this is Formula 2 or whatnot,
Yeah.
That's awesome. But you know what, to sit here and say that and be so open and honest about that, that's awesome. And once again, like you said, you're just a small guy, work every day, got kids, wife, family, all the adult things we're supposed to have. And you still do a lot of this product, and it goes out everywhere. So, I mean, I can't imagine the other time that it takes up to get all of these orders filled that you do. And then, I mean, maybe we're gonna have to call or go on Indeed and see if we can find somebody to help with you or something.
Yeah, and no one's really helped yet. I mean, honestly, to tell you the truth, when I first started making it, I would make it like 64 ounces at a time.
Yeah.
And I was like, this is terrible. Like there has to be a better way. And I just learned how to like make it faster, make it the same and make it faster, which there's a little learning curve there and very annoying to make it in 64 ounces at a time.
Right. Yeah.
And honestly, the thing that takes up the most time is boxing and shipping, labels, boxing and shipping.
Yeah.
That is once I can improve the process to create it. I can't improve putting it in a box. It's
right. I mean, that's a pretty tough thing to find a few tenths to shave off on.
Yes.
So that's great. Got a few people chiming in. There's Erica. What's up, Erica? How you doing? Gabe Hanadale. What's up? Thomas Vassy, Charlie Gutneck. That's my buddy from Cincinnati. Very fast guy. The Cincy guys, him and Jeremy Doan and a couple of the other guys down there, they're good guys. If you got a problem or if you need help with anything that's in my area, those are some of the go-to guys. Yeah, we got Nikki Pearson. But yeah, I'm Jose Maldonado. He says, is it a VHT base?
Right. So how to explain that the best? Yes and no. There are only so many types of resin, and there's only so many companies that I know that start with a particular base and blend different things. And most of them are taking those bases and making something. And when I'm talking about that, I'm not talking about any of the RC prep people. I'm talking about like core companies that make stuff, right?
Right.
Right. So then that's in like the US, right? There's only so many companies that are making different bases that you can like
that you're allowed.
You're
allowed to have. So
right. And there's only like one or two companies that aren't part of like main distribution. So you have to have some type of base to work off of. So yes and no. One thing I kind of frowned on was like taking something 100% and not even doing anything to it, taking something 100% and just taking it from one bottle to another and being like this is a particular item, but really you did nothing to it. You just transferred it.
Repackaging. Yeah.
Right. So there's only so many things you can mix together. But yeah, that will give you something that's okay, but it won't give you things that are blended to do like a particular thing. And I think most people can tell that. They put something on their tire, they're like, that's different, or this functions a particular way. And you can go buy those bases and put them on your tire, and you'll see how they work, and it's
Right.
not the same. So that's the best answer I can give.
And that's way out of my league on what I like to get some of your prep and go play with my car and have a good time with my car buddies,
Yeah,
whether it be here local or wherever. So,
right. It had there's a guy he posts as like Exalted, I think is his name.
okay.
And I think he originally was, he buying different people's stuff, and then he got into trying to make his own stuff. And I saw a post on his page, and he was like, "Yeah, I made this stuff, and it ran like this. I'm pretty happy with it." And I was like, I messaged him, I'm like, "Hey, man, can I send you just a bottle? I just want to see." Like, he's like, "Sure." So I sent him a bottle,
Right.
and before he even ran it, he put it on his tires, and he was like, "What is this?" He said,
Right.
"If this is what people are going to," he said something as a little video, like, "If this is what good prep is like," then I think he just was like, "I'm giving up," because this is totally different than anything I've played with in terms of traction. And that's even just like playing with two tires together. So he
Right.
does that, puts it on his car, and runs like a new best or something, right?
Heck yeah.
How does it work in cold weather? Well, I don't
I've
negative
tested it.
7
I have.
degrees. It's been like
Not that.
1.9s and -7.
Yeah, not -7, but I've been out in cold. And when in the wintertime, if it's slow at work and I have the day off, and say the snow's melting away,
Yeah,
if I have like a 4 or 5 foot lane that's clear, I will take the car and send it. I promise. And I've never been let down with that stuff in the coldest of weather.
right.
I'm not joking.
The cooler the temps get, the faster it goes. That's all I know. So the cars will just go faster once fall gets here.
I think so too. I'm excited for this race. I mean, got some of the biggest names in all of NPRC from around the country, and yeah, so and probably be beyond. Hopefully,
Right.
Hopefully get some of the Puerto Rico guys or something to come up. That would be awesome too.
Yeah,
That'd be cool. But that's going to be a huge race.
yeah.
And I'm excited for you guys as a club. Now there is one thing. Your guys' club is super solid, super professional. Already have the plan, execute it, get it done for your races, and those guys do a great thing. I admire the 419 as a club. I do. They definitely they're a very solid group of people.
Yeah.
But yeah, with that and the cooler in the fall, I think you're going to see some crazy passes there.
Yeah, I do believe it's a, just it by itself, not comparing it to anyone else's stuff. It by itself is better in the fall than it is in warmer weather.
Yeah.
Some people have really mastered it in the warmer weather, and other people I try to help, and they struggle a bit, and it could be many things. The surface, the temperature, the humidity. I do know though that like after a little bit of working with some people, they do like, "Oh, I've got it. It's just like this." And I wish I could help them more, and maybe if I saw it in front of me, but
right, it's hard to do over the phone or over the internet.
So there's some tips in cooler weather. It's still the heat gun. It does work good. Whoever came up with that heat gun method, I don't know if it was Team AZ or if it was Jordan Yancey. That was brilliant. That was another revolutionary change over winter, right? Yes. And maybe I don't know for my prep, maybe my prep wouldn't have been as good if we were still doing it the old way, because my prep with that method is something special. So
right.
But I think everybody's prep improved by that method. Don't get me wrong.
It was definitely revolutionary, like you're saying. I mean, I mean, it makes it simple, quick, able to get it and get the first layer or whatnot to do what it's supposed to do. And then, go from there.
A lot of times, so there's a, for like applications and stuff, or we can talk about that real quick because that kind of leads into that. So cooler weather, heat gun, a lot of guys will use tire bands. The only thing I don't want to use a tire band for is to put it outside of prep. Tire bands are great to warm the tire by itself. Best thing you could have to warm the tire, but warm them both uniformly and get them hot enough. Save the heat gun for curing the prep on top. I've seen people get their tires warm enough. It's going to depend on your outside temperature. Probably not over 85 degrees. You don't need to get the tire like smoking hot above 85 degrees. I don't think so. You warm the tire, rip the bands off, throw 1 to 2 coats of prep on a hot tire. There's a trick I'll let out that my prep, or even probably other people's prep when it's hot, but keeping your prep cold or cool will make a difference when it's probably like 90 or hotter.
Right.
It's something you have to experiment on your own though. Like I tell people, like prep your car like during the week, like practice prepping. Prepping is one of the most important things for your car. You should be practicing it during the week occasionally. If you think you want to know how it cures in this particular temperature and things, but keeping prep cool and shaded, get a lunchbox with some ice, those blue packs, and you can keep the prep cooler, and it will go on and perform better when it's hot. Now when it's cooler out, it's just the opposite. Like, you can keep it out on your table more. And, heating of the tire is a little more important, but it's all about getting it to flash properly, really. And those things.
When you see it, you know it. I mean, in all seriousness, this is probably, I've said it before, but the most user-friendly stuff. In all seriousness, if you just have your routine down and try to do the same thing over and over and over, because basically it's a controlled test that we want to achieve every time.
Right. You want the same thing every time. So that's why I tell people to practice it too. I just think it's a good thing to have down pat. You have a limited amount of time. You should know, like, when I put this on my car and my tires with my hands, the particular timing to do it.
I know how much time till.
You would practice everything else if you could. You practice the light. You practice going over your car, making runs. You should be practicing prep application occasionally, like if you're struggling with something.
Right. Just to make sure that's one last piece of the puzzle. That's say can give you problems or can't give you problems.
Right. There's a video I tried to do a quick kind of how to. Kind of covers like how I would prep or how I've been prepping or other people I know. So there's one amendment, if anyone's watching, to the video, is the WAP cleaning. It's not always necessary, but it does, I believe, help work that product and the used prep that's on the tire back into the rubber. But there's a limit to how much you can get away with doing that. Some people do it 1 or 2 runs. I kind of cap off at the first 3 to 5 runs of the day. So if you show up at a place and maybe you WAP cleaned your tires before you went home last week. So you show up, tires probably feel pretty good still. Warm them, prep them, go make a practice run. Don't have it set on kill.
Right.
Come back, WAP clean them, and we really get it rubbed in to where it's almost dry and let that sit. 3 to 5 of those practice runs with that. And then stop doing that. It's too difficult for me to explain or control unless you as a person are comfortable with it doing it anymore. But what can happen, you can kind of overdo it where the prep won't flash properly. And it's usually a reaction with the conditioning stuff.
Right.
Where the
not
prep
being...
it won't do it.
Right.
So do it early, do it practice, then stop. Your tires should be good, really good for the rest of the day. Before you're done practicing, though, you make a run where you come back and you don't WAP clean. You just do your brake cleaner. That's my favorite, non-chlorinated.
Right.
Or you can naphtha if that's what you choose.
I've tried a few things.
Yeah, just go make one more run after that, and then your car's like, okay, I'm good for practice. This is what my car runs. It runs it on a clean tire that's been prepped. It should be good for the next, 7 or 8 runs, whatever it takes to get you to a final.
Right. Well, that's good information to know. I mean, I did watch that video, and yeah, is watching the flash and everything with you in the heat gun. That was awesome. Just explaining the process, because in all seriousness, I'm just a normal regular guy in this. I do this for fun. I'm not fast, but if my car gets down and I think it looks fast, you know what? I'm a happy guy.
Everyone wants to race as much as they can, and in order to do that, they need to go some rounds. So you're making an effort. Everyone has their own effort level, and you want to go as far as you think you can go. Like
right. I mean, don't get me wrong. I'd love to win.
Right.
I'd have to have a heck of a chip draw that night, and they would probably all be buy rounds. So, no, I'm joking. But I use it. It's definitely gotten my game a lot stronger from what it was. I guess as being like super recreational to now it is still recreational, but getting to the hobby side of things. I came from no RC really at all. Had a few bashers when I was a kid, and I seen a video of these things, and it hooked me immediately. And I said, I gotta find one, and I found a DR10, and then I got it home, and it wouldn't do a wheelie out of the box, and I was so disappointed. Right. So then I started looking on some forums and things, and the next thing you know, now we're talking gear changes. Now I can get it to do a wheelie, and I was the happiest guy. I thought I had to show my wife. I'm like, just come take a look at this, right? So, and then I guess it snowballed from here. I mean, yeah, but as far as being on your level, Mr. Zuccarell, the dedication and the love for the hobby that you have, and I guess just the camaraderie. I mean, like you said, you somebody needs a hand, you're more than than helping to them. So that is another great thing to say. I want to bring up one thing. Price point, man.
Right.
That I love it personally. And it is very, very, very economical.
Right. It kind of, I've had some questions on like, oh, you could charge more, or you could do this, or maybe I could. I guess, I never planned for it to, I don't ever really want to call it the best. I always say it's just good prep, right? Like, because each road, and there's other conditions where I'm sure somebody can take any one of the other preps and they might be, oh, that's the fastest guy of the day. I just tried to find something that was good and consistent. Well, turns out that helps work everywhere.
Right.
I guess, that was one thing.
Now,
so I had seen some different ways to price things, and I was like, you know what? Everyone's spending enough money on everything else. I was like, it kind of sucks if you go to a club race and so I don't know if this is the standard size bottle for the other prep guys. I think it is. But I was like, man, that kind of blows. I'm running 3 cars at the time.
Right.
And I'll use a whole bottle for 3 cars. Like in one day, I'm like, well, they got their entry fee. They're using a whole bottle of this stuff. Like something I tried to change a little bit. So, so I came up with rather than have the contract customer or you're a teammate or something, I just tried
Right.
to say, well, if you got some, I guess you're part of the team, so I'll give everyone the team pricing. That's
That's
essentially, the only time I've been fussy to myself about it is if I know somebody used it and they kind of
maybe
gave credit to somebody else.
yeah, rep someone
And
else. Well,
yeah. Which,
yeah,
I can understand that. Like,
eh,
but it's been the same. Tried to keep it the same. Yeah, so that's just try to be fair to everyone.
and I agree. More than fair to everyone. More than fair to everyone. And I mean, the amount of people around me that I know use it uh, regularly, consistently, is it's pretty high. Put it that way.
Right.
There's other stuff out there. Not saying that everything, nothing else works or anything of that nature, but uh, the user friendliness of it, right? I mean, you're not spending days to clean, clean a tire after a pass. That is a pretty simple process in itself. So, and yeah, once again, just how Mr. Jeff Zuccarell is. When I'm around him and I see him, I call him the mad scientist. Guys, I don't know if you don't see it, I kind of see it over a cauldron, stirring it up, right? No, but yeah, what you do for the hobby and just to think of everyone else that races and to have that in your mind saying, hey, where is something that we could maybe possibly cut just a tad bit of a break? And you hit it right on the head, sir.
Right.
I appreciate that. I do. I'm gonna have to get with you here too because I need some. I'm almost out, but
So Jose asked, I think it was asked earlier too, Jose, like just the one prep. I haven't really found something that I like better or the other guys have tested that made an improvement to the, I guess, like the base level of what I'm trying to work with. So I haven't come up with something else just for people to buy at the moment. It hasn't been needed. And but like I told Chris, if I did find something, I would just probably try to evolve it into, well, that's what it is. Like,
right.
unless some of the other guys were like, hey, don't do that, which I've had requests like, don't mess with it, and I don't mess with it. I try to just keep the same. But yeah.
Huh. Henry Tavios, yeah, Skittles approved. Heck
Right.
yeah.
So some people would think,
fast, dude.
yeah, some people would think like, you make the prep, you must be the pretty good with it or the best with it, and I'm not. Like, so it does slow me down. I would say my cars are slower than they should be because I'm making prep all the time.
Of course.
Right. So
that's to be understood. I wouldn't
right.
I wouldn't even have questioned that.
I don't know how much faster they would be, but I just assume they're slightly slower because it does slow me down. Like, I literally have no time to work on the stuff the way I'd like to. But I do try and put in an effort when I can.
Right.
And then Henry, though, like, I was asking him, like, hey, what are you doing? How are you doing that? What's going on? And he would tell me, and I'm like, well, shit, that's not going to work for me at all.
Right.
I've gone that direction already. There must be something else. But yeah, he was a wizard for Skittles' car out there in Wisconsin.
Yeah, definitely rolling. Caden says he's back home with his pops. Oh, heck yeah.
Tommy, yeah.
What's up, Tommy? Yeah.
Well, most of the people that are probably making things, it probably does take a little bit away from the racing. But I still had fun. I mean, like, I still had a great time in Tulsa. I still had a great time in Wisconsin when it came to like the racing and the event. So
yeah.
I enjoy like being part of the team thing. So that's replaced some other drive, like, oh, and I'll have all the time, but it helps.
And I guess to say be on that team of people and surrounded by all that just the atmosphere itself is probably like electrified with all of the, hey, this is we're doing this, right? I mean, I
Right.
can only imagine what's going on.
One of the honestly, one of the best things that ever like worked out is being like, I think I tried to be upfront with people. Like, I'm not going to really do like sponsorships in the sense that like, I'll try to offer a great price that goes to everyone. And in return, there isn't really like this guy sponsored or that guy sponsored. So everyone's made, I've always tried to feel like everyone's been able to make their own choice. If they're using this on their car, it's by choice. And some people believe like they're only trying to use the best things for that race by choice to win, right? That's the goal of everyone here, is to win. So
heck yeah, the consistent traction, right? That's from Henry. It's so I do have one question. This one
sure.
comes from Charlie G down from Cincinnati there. Now, I wondered this too also, but he says, does cooling your prep down in the cooler help with anything? And I'm sitting here and I'm like analyzing it myself, thinking like, I bet you that he's probably done it in like 10-degree increments going down from ambient.
No, just like someone was like, hey, it's stupid hot here. Like, it's so hot.
Right.
The prep is doing this or that. And, they probably came up with it on their own and told me. Like, I'm pretty sure it was JFab that was like, hey, let's try this. And I'm like, okay, why not? He's like, hey, this helped when it was super hot out. Like, even, they're having to wait until like 9 o'clock at night on a weeknight to go set up and practice.
That's
right.
tough.
Right. So
that's commitment.
Right. And even then it's hot. So you can imagine if they tried to have a race like at noon on Saturday or something, right? So, they didn't want to switch up their prep program. So they're like, well, what can we do to like improve it? And that turned out to be one thing. But there was no like scientific method for it or anything like that. Just wondering, cool it down and see what happens.
Yeah, get it cooler than ambient temperature outside. Yeah, throw it on there and let her go.
Right, and I believe that it may make it thicker, Charlie. That makes sense.
Huh? Yeah. Nice. See, like I said, Charlie, he's a fast guy down there, man, and he's one of those guys that's been around the block for a good while, uses everything out there, has used this product, that product, just like everyone else. So, yeah, I would imagine he would have a question like that, and
right,
saying that it does, because they probably, does it freeze? I mean, can you get it that cold? No, I'm just kidding.
I don't think it will freeze. No,
right.
Nothing ever froze during the winter shipping it.
Yeah,
I've never seen any of the other prep companies, products ever anyone be like, oh my God, this stuff froze. So I don't think any of the preps, but the things, whether it's mine or somebody else's, like when you finish your race day, when you get home, some people are like, oh, I'm so worn out, I don't want to take my stuff out of my car. Don't leave it in the car. Don't leave your stuff in the car to begin with. It's hard on your radio, your charger, your batteries. Get it all out of the car. Put it, somewhere cool. And yeah, so it won't freeze like that. And then don't leave it in any hot environment. It just destroys the prep, basically. Like it messes it up.
Right, chemical compound gets altered.
It doesn't seem to work the same if you've like overheated it. If you're out racing, don't leave the cap off. Use it, put it away. Don't leave like the cap just off and sit.
On.
I know one of my biggest challenges for everyone is the dauber lids. I've tried to buy enough, and then I tried to like manage, like if you buy a 4-box, I give you 2 dauber lids and then spares.
Right.
It's a challenge, and then I see them show up, and I order from different places. I just had a company that like I bought them from. They were ordered like June 21st.
Yeah.
And they show up today. give you an idea. Like, and they show up today, and I saw another company had some in stock, so I got some there also. And I'm like, hey, you know, why aren't those shipping? And they're like, oh, we're running behind. It's going to be another week. So it's a challenge. So I try to do my best and explain to people, like, if you
Hey,
have lids, save them. You can cut it off, pull the other one out, insert it, and then you have like a refreshed lid. You can do that a couple times before it breaks the lid.
yeah.
And everyone's been like real, for me, real respectable about, like, it's not the best option, but it's the one I have, right? I'd
It's an option.
rather get you
Yeah.
a bottle than no bottle. Be like, oh, I don't have lids, I'm not shipping anything. That seems silly.
Yeah. I mean, everybody has to understand. I mean, I'm pretty sure somebody in this, yeah, with Yetis
Right,
and
so
stuff.
you guys, I don't have any down here. I should have brought one. But you guys saw well, I just call them like event cans or special cans. I try to come up with something
That was awesome.
fun.
Yes,
So I've had
it
two of
was.
those. I'll probably do one for the 419 race.
Uh-huh.
And then I'll probably do one for Smokies. I don't know what sizes I would bring.
Right.
I've just been tinkering with, it's little things. It doesn't make the prep any better. I just thought it was cool. Like,
I thought it was an awesome gesture.
you can see it. This label has just changed recently. The camera kind of shows it.
Yeah.
And then I finally have some stickers to send with product too, which is always a challenge. Like, I think I have enough, and I throw them in the box. The next thing you know, I'm out.
Right.
So those are my downfalls.
I have a few myself, and I'm looking forward into maybe acquiring a few more for the new bodies here and there, of course. Yeah, Sean, that'd be crazy if he has, you know, vacuum sealed containers, no atmospheric pressure in there, and it smokes and steams when it opens up.
So, and one thing, so these bottles that you guys have got, not with this label actually, but these bottles, they seal pretty good and they've held up pretty good, and the lid really reseals. The metal cans, it's a nice can. The lid just doesn't, it seals okay. So you'd want to like refill it at home and like keep it somewhere. It's not the same seal as this one, but it's okay. But if it's not opened, it's perfectly sealed, like a container you'd buy at like Home Depot. But yeah, so, and those cost a lot compared to like anyone else would be charging you probably $10 or $12 more a bottle just for the can. Like, it doesn't cost that much, but that's how they would charge. So I do it as like a fun thing to go for some people, but yeah.
I thought it was awesome too. Like I said, that just to have somebody on there,
right?
You put the face on it. You put them on the prep,
right?
Awesome.
And initially, I had only done it initially on the first one to like celebrate their achievement a little bit, and it was kind of nice to know that like their achievement involved this item, like because it is their achievements. It's all the racers, right? It's the prep is, you know, one component.
That's right.
I feel it's important, like the tires and prep go together. It's the thing that connects you to the ground, which in most racing can be a very important item. So
when they're connected and stuck, you're on the ground. You're running. I see Chris Gilliland. He wants a signed bottle. I'm sure you can make that one happen, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Chris, he seems like an awesome dude. I've seen him all over the internet, and definitely know he's an awesome dude. From his actions. So, Mr. Gilliland, appreciate you for tuning in. That is pretty cool.
Someone asked where. Some people message me directly, but there is a Get Stuck Facebook page.
Yep.
For whatever reason, that messenger sometimes works better than the one that's like the personal one. If you're not clicked on as a friend, sometimes it hides you on the personal one, and I don't see it for like a week.
Right.
Every once in a while, the business one will like do something goofy where I'll miss somebody and I'll go down and I'm like, I've never seen that message before. And they just show up like in bold, you know, the bold text, like, So I'll
Like,
scroll down sometimes pretty far, and I'll be like, where did that come from? Like,
they might have been on Facebook banned for a few days for a comment.
I don't. Yeah, so but yeah, that's usually the best place, and
Right.
I'll give you like, hey, this is how much it costs to ship. This is the price breakdowns. Usually people will hit me up for like, I mean, it could be prep application, but sometimes they message me for like, hey, my car's doing this, and I'll try to help.
Right.
Some of the other prep people are racers, right?
Mhm.
And we all have our various skill sets. So I just try to provide what I can besides the prep stuff as like a customer service thing. Like, hey, you were cool enough to buy my prep. I'll try to help you as much as I can, like within reason.
Right. Within reason, of course. Because I mean, heck, some people would fly you to their house and keep you for a week or two, you know. But no, I just want to say this week has been an awesome week. I would say in this no prep world and family that we have going on. I've seen a lot of cool manufacturers. All the other preps coming on, those guys were awesome. I tuned in. I had quite a few of those. And then Mr. Zuccarell, you did not disappoint. I appreciate having you on. And sir, any other time, are you making the trophy for the Fall Classic?
Yes.
Dude, because that one Lindsay May got was super fire. So I want to see another picture of that. So, and then are you able to win that one if you do compete in the race? Now, that would be even
well, there's it will be a pretty stacked field. Like,
it's going to be a stacked field up there.
Right.
Yes, sir.
My current goals, and everyone should have realistic goals. My current hope or goals, and it always depends a little bit on chip draw. It's always nice to make like top 20, top 10, depending on the car count.
Right.
And you got to have some luck too. It's not just having the fast car, getting the good light. Things don't always go as planned, and you need a little luck and a little chip draw help. Like, so you can get down to the top 20, then you can hope you can make it a race out of your own, but it usually gets pretty difficult.
At that moment.
Yeah.
That is the crop of the day right there. And
but we have a lot of travelers and stuff, too. Like
a lot of travelers, that's for sure.
Vine and Joseph, and who knows who else is coming from far away. Like, when I think of like Malmi or Toledo, Ohio, and those guys are
coming there.
I know there's other people coming too. I just can't name them all. Like those, those are names that everyone knows. We have our Midwest crew. Midwest is pretty fast crew. If you think of it, I consider like Chicago, Columbus, Ohio. Like, we have enough Michigan. Guys,
yes. I heard a few things there's about to be some beatdown go on here, a 7 versus 7 race.
So that's Sunday. Frank and Dante, I think is his name. Frank and Dante were organizing a competitive but sporty 1/7 scale versus outlaw. And everyone has their ultra fast guy, and then their medium guy, and then the guy that's still quick. He's just not as So it should be fun. We had a similar Michigan Ohio deal. It's just I think the following weekend is Michigan Ohio. So
I heard that too. That would be something pretty awesome to cover, and I'm definitely hoping some guys from down around my area are willing to participate in that, and kudos to them. It's been kind of a secret because if you have to say pick a team, right?
Yeah.
Some people get frustrated they ain't on the basketball team at the moment, So
right.
It's a little better that way, and I actually kind of like the way it was handled in all honesty. So it doesn't cause a big bunch of ruckus, I guess you could say, on the local pages. But yeah, that's super sweet too. I'm stoked to see that. Ohio, there was a little things go on. There was the uncaged race. They kind of piggybacked on a big car no prep event.
Yeah.
And I do believe there was some guys from 419 I thought came down.
Yep, I did see some pictures of that.
Yep. And Willie Holly, it took first. Well,
Yeah.
him and Chris Payne, I believe, split first. Weather was coming or time scheduling or something of that. So the guy did the admirable thing there, and they said, why not? Let's just split the cash. So congrats to them. I seen Chris Castle Sr. came down here and picked on some guys.
Yeah, did you do that Tuesday?
I don't
like
know
Tuesday.
which day exactly was.
I saw his picture with his new body. I was like, that's recent.
Yeah. I believe it might have been the evening of Uncaged, so last Saturday.
Yeah.
There was another gentleman putting on a race there in the 937 area, just south of town, and they got all the people. They're there. They're race. They're, I guess, practicing and stuff. Got all their stuff out. Rain comes, right? A little cell just comes right south of Dayton. Well, Huber Heights is north of Dayton. Okay, they checked the radar. Everything looked good. All these guys threw all their stuff in their cars and went 25 minutes north to go get this race on. So that right there, just the want and the love to do that. That is something to be a part of, pretty much. But I heard the race up to first place, and then
Jeff, did you get that?
If you want
Not all of it.
tomorrow, if you want to, you can do it.
We'll have to wait for Chris's internet to come back a little bit. It's coming back. But
good.
We got to get him some internet over there, ain't we?
Okay.
yes,
Awesome.
that's how things go, though.
I like the way it looks like the robot. You know how it keeps doing it.
We call that Nintendo graphics or Atari. I really date myself there.
Hey, we all know what you're talking about, so you know. It was like it's getting better.
Okay. Yeah.
Let's see. Hold on.
There we go. He's back.
I'm back.
Yes.
All right. Sorry, guys. Out here at the lake, I think our infrastructure is at max capacity. So that's why we run into the issues. I see these questions on the next door all the time. Is anyone having internet problems? I got tired of saying me every day, like 100 a day. So sorry for that.
That's all right. I was thinking too, I should probably add, like if for some reason someone, they're looking for product, or there is there's a couple people out there that and I don't know if I'll get them all in this, but I'll try my best where they get some from me so that they can have it for their local racers on hand, or it's at least geographically closer to them, where if they're like, they're buying something from a particular manufacturer online, they can add a bottle to their cart. Dan, Racer RC, he tries to stock some for Southern California area guys. 5-Star, Jared, they try to stock some stuff for, checkout, and if it's at a race and they're there. Tommy has tried to get some. He's had some for the Tennessee area.
Yep.
I know there's guys, I just don't know their names, like in the South Carolina, North Carolina, maybe even Florida area. So, if for some reason, I know a lot of those, they say out of stock, like they have just gotten some, but it does go out of stock fast, like, believe it or not. Like, but you know, if you're getting some items from them on checkout and you need some and you're like, well, I'm going to get this before Jeff can get it, you know, help support those guys too for having it, because they're going to be the ones too to bring it to some events and things I can't go to, and you know, it's going to be not going to be in Southern California. I would like to, but I'd like to visit it or something.
It would be nice.
I'm kind of range bound and vacation bound. So, but yeah, but you know, the two places I can make it to left this year with other family stuff, it will be King of the Smokies and our race. I would always like to have gone to more, but it's just what it is. Like, of limited time, and those places are farther away, and even like, you know, Redemption I'd like to go to, but I'm running out of vacation time and things. So hopefully maybe Jared or someone will be there, or who knows, but plan ahead, you know, or plan to support those guys too when you see them. It does help them and helps everyone, and probably not even just with my prep, with other prep. Like, you know, if you want to keep your choices open geographically, it doesn't hurt.
Yeah. And yeah, thanks for sure. Yeah, Dayton Hobby Shop would be a good one, Charlie. I mean,
yeah, the indoor guy, I can't recall his name right now. I know you guys raced at an indoor place in the
yeah,
he was getting some, you know.
This is funny. I know Luke's Hobbies has it too.
Luke's, Luke's. See, it's so difficult to think of everyone. Luke's Hobbies, and that you know, that's another geography area. If you're not with Tommy, you either know Luke's Hobbies. So if you're in and out of there, yeah. So check around the NPRC places. You know, you will often maybe find it. I realize they get busy. They go through the stock and they're like, oh, I should get some more, which it's fine, whenever, you know.
Yeah. Well, like you said, it goes quick too. When they get it in, it comes off the shelf quick.
Right. You know, I don't know if, you know, they're like, what can we add to the you know, I'd do the same thing when I would purchase from hobby stores online or different people. I'll take some of that and some of this. Oh, I'll put that in my cart too. So
all right.
They just use it up, you know.
Anything?
That's better.
Hold on a second. Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
All right. I'm sorry, guys. This is it. That's frustrating. I don't know, with our technical difficulties here, and I guess my satellite's not aligning properly over my house. Once again, I do want to say thanks to Jeff for coming on. Get stuck, man.
Sure.
Rich and Val, thanks for falling in there when I have my technical difficulties. And just thanks to everybody in the REC community, in all seriousness, and what they do, whether it be help out at a race, help someone at a race, or just, you know, throw some love for somebody making a good pass. You know,
right.
I'm a simple guy. I don't want to. I like being kind more than I like seeing hate. You know.
I think the general consensus, and hopefully everyone's kind of getting the big picture now, even when it comes to the outlaw class, there is, you know, after you have a big race or a medium-sized race, I've categorized them on my own, but after you have them, you go online and there's all kinds of fuss and who knows what, but really look at the people that are making the fuss. Most of them, they're not the people we should be listening to. I mean, you take it as a consideration, but the rest of the community is pretty much on the same page, I think.
I agree.
They don't 100% agree, but they're agreeing enough. They probably all go to breakfast together. Like,
right.
It's not the image online. Like, isn't the image I think in the background from just the races I've been to and things like that. And I'm sure with you guys covering, I'd hope you'd see the same thing.
You know, and I do. I notice it. You're at the race. I mean, it's nothing but the experience.
And help, and
Yes.
yeah. So you guys covering it in your different formats and stuff. You can see like what's the real state of NPRC and what the like squeaky wheel is, and this.
Yeah, you have a squeaky wheel everywhere.
Everyone's going to learn to be able to tune out the wrong things and follow the right things. And
right,
I think most of us are all on the same page.
Like I said, like you were talking about a minute ago about the big race. After the big race, you get chatter, kind of like a NASCAR. You know what I mean? You know how you got all the people that's watching NASCAR, what this guy should have done or what this, that. And that's what you get. And, it's just chatter. As long as you don't let it phase you and you stay on your thing.
I have a rule a little bit in terms of call outs and things like that. If you're the fast guy or you think you're fast, you can't call me or Chris out and say that I have to come race you. If you're the fast guy, you need to come race me and show me that you're fast. And you get a lot of people that think they're fast, but they don't leave their driveway.
Right.
If you're making call outs or statements, go somewhere and show somebody how fast you are.
And maybe race for a Big Mac and then I seen a Chipotle burrito.
It doesn't have to be a big race,
Right.
Someone's club race, and it doesn't have to be that far, but go to where they're at and show them that under any condition, you're the fast guy or whatever. You learn a lot more respect that way. You can't tell the fast guy to come to you. You need to go to them. That's my rule, my golden rule for racing.
Is it going again? But yeah, you're right about that. And most people don't realize how much fun it is on the at every race, every big race we've ever been to. We can go to California, Vegas, y'all's area, and it's always the same, no matter how big the race is. Everybody has a great time.
Right. Everyone earns their more respect that way too, I think, and I think that would really put things into perspective for the rest of the community. And yeah, I guess if you think you're the fast guy and have all the answers and stuff, you don't have to necessarily go race the other fastest guy to make your statement. But show up and be respectful at that club and go rounds, and people will understand you a lot better than if the killer is always, if the rules were like this, whatever that rule may be, I would be winning, and that's such a false statement. And it puts this weird cloud over us all, but it's the state of the racing and the community is wholeheartedly much better, right? It's not what you see online, which is that's a good thing to kind of just go by for the NPRC. Like, it's good stuff.
Of course. So I'm back, right? Can you hear me now? All right. I did away with the Wi-Fi on there, so just got on the phone again. But it's working. Hopefully it's working. But all right, wonderful. I know one thing, guys. It's getting a little late for this old feller. And I do want to say again, thanks, Jeff, for coming on, man. A heck of a sportsman. I mean, a heck of a businessman. And you think of people, not just yourself. And it definitely showed tonight. And I was glad, and hopefully, some people out there in this little community that we're in, they got to see a whole nother side of you that they might have not ever have known about, So I'm hoping so.
Well, yeah, it's cool. Thanks for having me and stuff.
Yes, sir.
I was able to pour a bunch of bottles before we started, and then I'll go upstairs and start boxing them. And yeah.
Well, like I said, I'll be getting with you because I need some myself. So for sure. All right, Jeff. Well, everybody, Jeff Zuccarell with Get Stuck. If you know about it, good for you. If you don't, you better find out. It's a great product, and very user friendly. From me being myself. And
yeah, I'll go. What makes it a great product is it won Irwindale with
right?
Joseph, right? So
Yep,
commend his awesome effort. It top qualified with Joey Davis at King of Streets. It won with Samantha. It was the top 3 of 4 at King of Streets. It had a good showing at Tulsa. I think there was 6 cars left.
Mm-hmm.
And then, pretty stout showing at Wisconsin.
Very stout showing at Wisconsin.
Somewhere is at least 13 cars, maybe 14 cars in the top 16. And then, members of the fastest guys from whatever team you want to call them, like Custom Works, R1, GFRP. There were fast guys from each team that I think squeaked into the top 16. And then, the majority of those users were on that. So, and then Lindsay May in Ohio.
Yep.
And then Lindsay May in Wisconsin.
Yep.
Frank and Dustin having good showings, and there's other people. It would be a long list, but those are the races. So GNS fast times and track times, like that covers all of its achievements with those people and their achievements, because it is theirs.
Right, of course. But I'm fairly certain that it has definitely been noticed at some time or another from about anyone who is on any page here, for sure. Yeah, but like I said, 10 o'clock.
Yeah,
guys in the Ohio get up at 5 in the morning.
Thanks for having me, Chris and Webb RC.
Thanks for coming on. Hopefully we get to do this again and talk about some other achievements and some other, I guess historic events that are going to go on here in the future. So
sure.
All right, Jeff. Well, thank you, sir. This is Chris Hobbs in the Beams, guys. Have a good evening. See ya.